You asked for a sign. Here it is. Hey guys, it's Tarot and Beyond. Welcome back to the channel. In today's pick a card reading, we are looking at a sign that you have asked for and what the answer is or what that sign means. So we have three groups to choose from today. As usual, group number 1 is represented by the Elder Wisdom card. Okay. Group number 2, we have Go to Kola, Higher Consciousness. Group 3 is the Angel's Trumpet, Death. So choose the card or cards that feel like they are calling to you. You don't have to use the card itself. You could be just drawn to the particular group. Feel free to pause the video and connect to the images if you feel called to do so, and then use the timestamps linked in the description box or the chapter notes below to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings, and we will see you there. All right, hi group number 1, welcome to your reading. You guys chose the Elder Wisdom card, and the first thing that I'm really being drawn to in this card is the magic wand. If you guys can see it there, it feels very much like this sign is coming in such a magical way. The elder trees, elder wood is used in wands. Okay, so that makes sense. So there's something about magic here, and it's ancient magic, which is this ancient wisdom, sacred ancient knowledge. It feels druidic to me, mythological. The fairy realm could be involved here. The elderberries are also standing out, so there could be something to do with elderberry, like elderberry syrup or elderberry tea. I know that elderberry has really great antioxidant properties. It's also very immune boosting. It's immunoprotective. Yeah, it helps to heal you. It's a wonderful healing tool. So something about magic and healing. Okay, let's get more information, because that's kind of what I'm getting initially in regard to the sign that you asked for. But let's go deeper. Okay, so we're going to get some astrology cards here. We have Aquarius, originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. Progressive imaginings. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm seeing healing again. Like, okay, guys, seriously, the water pouring out of this vase here in the Aquarius card, or this jug, they showed that to me, and they said healing waters. Okay, so Spirit is speaking loud and clear here about healing, and there's some kind of magic or healing through magic that you are being called to. Okay, I do feel this card on top here as well. 6th house, establishing a foundation, health, daily life, and practical details. Okay, so this could be literal healing. But it's healing through the magic of nature, through maybe using elderberry, literally using elderberry to heal your body or establish a new daily life routine that feels more magical. I think that it's going to be connected to these progressive imaginings. It feels like, I'm getting like fairy tale energy from it. Fantasy, like creating fantasies. It's kind of like there's something that you're doing that is healing you, and it's being incorporated into your daily routine, and it may be something that is a little bit more mystical or magical. Could be like a like kitchen witchery is kind of what I'm getting. Kitchen witchery is like using herbs and tinctures and oils and different things for magical purposes, and for healing, and for blessing and anointing, and for infusing your intention or your love or your healing energy into, let's say, even just making tea or cooking a meal. It's very sort of hands-on and practical, and it goes back ancient. Yeah, it's like that ancient energy, very druidic, very very grounded types of magic. Okay. Yeah, I do want to get the karma cards as well. I feel this one. Oh, there's 3 here. Yes? Yeah, okay, 3. Virgo. Well, I was just talking about groundedness, so that makes sense. So it says serving others, the details of, do what you must do. Methods for the healing power of. Healing power, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Virgo is about healing. the analyzing of and resulting from perfectionism. So these are meant to be read actually in sequence, but we're not going to do it that way in this reading. We're just kind of taking the main themes. Virgo is about healing. So, okay, this is a sign about healing for you, group number 1. And it's you doing what you know you must do. You're getting some kind of, I just heard the word premonition. Interesting. Okay, you're getting some kind of a premonition and you're analyzing that and you're applying it in these new methods of healing. And they're very powerful, ancient, magical forms of healing that are a little bit, different. They're off the beaten track. It's maybe you're seeing a naturopath or you're doing your own research and you're making yourself some more holistic herbal medicines. It's something like that. You have Neptune, but there's something about fantasy here because Neptune is about fantasy. And I'm getting this like fairy tale vibe. There's something, it's like maybe you're healing through creating magic, through your imagination. Maybe you're writing a story and you're incorporating that into your daily routine. Maybe part of that story is studying these ancient healing techniques. Or those could be two separate things. I'm not sure. So Neptune, it says the idealization of, confusion regarding, and sacrifice. And then it also says inspire others with, be prepared to sacrifice for, and yielding is the only way to. I mean, okay, we have philanthropy, we have being in service, being prepared to sacrifice, inspiring others. I think you're looking into the details of something here in regard to health or in regard to magic or both. And it's kind of like you need to make some adjustments in your life that it's like you're moving away from certain things and towards other things. And through that original routine that you're creating for yourself, you're improving your daily life, your health, and your habits. And I think you're going to inspire others to do the same. Maybe you're sharing this in some way, talking about it, speaking about it, video logging it, writing about it. That's kind of what I'm seeing. And then you have Libra, relationships, the beauty of. Do it with your partners. And we also have cooperation to perfect, decisions about and resulting from the fairness shown by. So really what I'm seeing with this Libra card here is that it is, like I was saying, it's like you're doing this in service to others in some way. I think it's, you might even be mastering some kind of ancient healing art or magic to help to heal others. This could be actual service work that you're doing because the 6th house can relate to our personal daily routines, but it can also relate to our work and what we're doing on a daily basis in our work for other people. Okay, I want to jump into the Egyptian Star Tarot, or Egyptian Star Oracle, I should say. Being of service. You're kidding me. Like, look, okay. This is why I like pulling cards on camera, so you guys can see that the energy speaks for itself and then the cards just confirm it. So you guys are being of service in some way. You might be coming up with a very original idea about how to combine the magic of the imagination and the ancient knowledge and wisdom from your elders. Again, I'm getting druidry, so it could be something that you're tapping into from a lineage or an ancestry type of thing, where you could be of Celtic descent, Welsh, Irish, English, and you're like reconnecting with those roots. Literally, you've got the tree here with roots, It doesn't have to be the case, but it's like you're connecting to magic in some way, and that's going to be part of your service. And it says recovered senses in this card as well. Recovered senses. I don't think you guys can even really see that because it doesn't want to focus, but you're helping people to heal their bodies. You could be in the health field and you're turning towards more of a naturopathic direction. And this is really going to inspire others. And it's going to help to perfect something. I see you perfecting something. because Virgo's about perfectionism, and Libra here, it says cooperation to perfect. So it's like you're going to be working with people or working for people in a way and perfecting some kind of ancient wisdom or knowledge to do with healing. And you're doing this as a service. You're doing this for yourself and others. The best healers are healers who have learned to heal themselves. A healer does not heal someone else. They just give them the tools, the information, the resources, or the energy to be able to do that healing for themselves. So I see you being a very, very skilled healer, group number 1. And this is the message. This is the sign. If you've been waiting for a sign to implement some kind of a healing routine or to be of service in a healing way to others, Spirit is like, this is it. This is the sign. Go down this path, become a naturopath, study the ancient lore of your ancestors or of the magic that you're feeling called to. It doesn't have to be anything you're related to. And on the bottom we have a writ, roll of papyrus, writing or a person's legacy. I feel like this is part of your legacy. Sorry if you guys can hear my upstairs neighbors are running some water or something. It's quite loud. I can sure hear it. But writing was coming up before. I was kind of getting like maybe you're writing a story or you're tapping into your imagination and you're sharing that through writing. But this could also be that you're studying ancient writings. Like maybe you're finding books on magic and healing and you are looking at these ancient texts and discovering this wisdom from your elders. Calendula, purity. You are purifying. And I feel like you're going to be using like flower essences or rituals or it feels like very I just keep getting this energy of like it feels very similar to witchcraft. On the bottom of the deck we have psychic healing, mugwort. Yeah. Healing. Like you're doing this very psychic, spiritual, but it's like physical level healing, which is really cool. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna put this here, and I think I want to. Yeah, I guess we'll look at one of these coffee cup cards. Mountain, challenges and achievements. If you have felt challenged by this path, if you have felt like this was something that's calling you, but it feels like you have to overcome some things, yes, I think that will be the case. I think you're right. Because it's going to require you to, first of all, study these things, learn these things. It's also going to, I'm just going to clear room because I do want to get another one of those, I think. It's going to challenge you to learn a lot, I feel, and maybe sacrifice some of your own time, energy, something towards this goal, which is in service to humanity. It's not even really just about like clients or patients or anything. It's like, it's a service to humanity that you're doing here. It's very philanthropic. And it hasn't necessarily been done in this way before, but I think that some of the challenges you're going to face here in regard to this is that you might feel confused sometimes. It might be hard for you to integrate the information and apply it. And so there's going to be, I think, a lot of trial and error, and you're going to have to kind of reduce down through process of elimination. It's like you're purifying out all of the impurities, and it's going to take some time to really see the results of that. But you will, and you will achieve this. I do see that very clearly there. But I feel like it's just it is going to challenge you. Because there's a lot of details that you need to work through. There's a lot of, like let's say for example, this is writing a fiction or a novel or even a series. Like there's so much work that has to go into it. You have to do so much research. You have to write your first draft, which takes so much time and energy. And then you have to go back and edit it. And then you have to do all of these other things, and there's so many details, right? So many details to this writing, but it's part of your legacy. And it will be something that you will have to sacrifice for, but it will inspire others. It will help others. It will heal others. It is a great act of service. And if you're asking or wondering, how can a fiction book be healing? Well, it can. Harry Potter saved my life. it was extremely healing for me. And I read it probably about once a year or so. It helped me get through the death of my mom. It helped me get through bullying in my preteen years. It was transformational. So it's these kinds of things that I'm seeing. Or it could be that you're writing a compendium, because I just heard that word, a compendium of herbs and ancient lore and spellcraft, witchcraft, healing arts, all of these things. You're compiling. Yeah, you're compiling ancient wisdom in a way that makes it easily understandable and accessible to people. So take what resonates for you, because I'm getting a couple of different things. So I think that there's like a few different kind of groups within this group, or maybe it's both, I don't know. But yeah, you have the tree, stability and growth. The elder tree, the tree, it's like the tree of knowledge, the tree of wisdom. You're seriously tapping in, and it's getting back to your roots. I keep feeling that, getting back to your roots, using nature as a healing tool, using the mind as a healing tool, the imagination. And that is very natural. That is our nature. Yeah. Okay. Control and change with teeth, and it's the golden tooth. You know, you may fear and feel a little bit out of control, because Virgo likes to be prepared. The energy of Virgo likes to be prepared, likes to have things in order, tends to be a little bit perfectionistic, as we see in the card, and likes to have things planned out. Does not like uncertainty, does not like not knowing the direction that things are heading, does not necessarily even like change. And while I was saying that sentence, I saw 1555 on the recording time, and fives, repeating numbers and sequences of fives, are all about transition and change and going into the unknown. So I feel like part of this fear can be about what this is going to require you to sacrifice, or what these changes are going to entail. And it's kind of like, by establishing this new routine and building up this foundation and creating this level of growth, it is going to challenge you to kind of release that need for systematic control of your environment, and kind of using a little bit of that, but in tandem, in cooperation with your intuitive, flowing, psychic, spiritual, healing nature. It's like Virgo is very sort of like they're showing me in my mind like a block of earth, very solid, very stable, rudimentary, rigid. And then, even though it's a mutable sign, that's just kind of what I'm getting from it energetically. And then it's like this water flows in, and it's kind of like picking up that block and moving it forward. So it doesn't necessarily feel natural or comfortable for that block to be swept up like that, but it's actually part of this natural flow, and it's going to help you to achieve something truly great, which will be very stable. And the growth that you are creating now is going to become the wisdom of the generations that come after you. I really feel like this is a large-scale service to humanity, and it's through this writing, or through this work, or through this research, or through this service, that you are positively impacting this planet in a very progressive way. Wow, yeah. So yeah, group number 1, I feel like this sign is pretty clear, right? We've seen it like very, very clear here in the cards. I definitely encourage you to explore areas of magic, areas of healing, and the natural world, and where all of those things kind of fit together. Ancient wisdom, fairy tales, mythology, ancient lore, ancient knowledge, foods and natural flower and berry essences. Yeah, and how that relates to healing and your daily routine, and how you can be of service. Write it down, track your progress, and yield to this way, because it is destined. It truly, truly is. There will be challenges, but you will overcome them, and this is part of your legacy. So, wow. Okay, that is what I see for you, group number 1. I hope that this made the sign a little bit more clear in terms of what it is telling you and what you're needing to do here. Let me know how this resonates in the comments below if you feel called to. And thank you so much for being here on the channel, supporting my work in service to you, because this is part of my service. So I offer it up freely. But if you would like to support my work here through memberships, you can do so by hitting the join button down below. It gives you access to ad-free weekly pick-a-card readings, as well as monthly live streams where you guys can ask me personal questions. And I also provide energetic healing as I'm a Reiki master. So if you guys are interested in that, check that out below. If you don't see the join button right underneath the video, then you may need to go through a desktop computer to access it, because sometimes it doesn't show up on the app. And if you want to work with me one-on-one and get additional guidance or healing or spiritual mentorship, anything like that, check out my services at the link in the description box to my website. It's tarotandbeyond.com. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I love you, and we will see you in the next reading. All right. Hi, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out what this sign is, what it means for you, and what Spirit wants you to know. So you guys chose the Go To Cola card, Higher Consciousness. So it definitely feels like this is a meditative moment where you are activating something within yourself in a really big way. And this sign is connected to that. So let's get into the cards here. We're going to start with the Heavenly Bodies deck, get some additional information for you, group number 2. The 12th house, spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, you guys are really seriously tapping into some higher level consciousness here. And the 12th house is a signifier of that. So this sign is, I'm noticing the bird cage in this card. So there's something about higher consciousness setting you free. Yeah, it does. And pay attention to feathers. I'm also noticing the koi fish. So oh, that's Pisces energy. Yeah, the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. Okay. I just get this feeling that you're ascending. I can't really explain it, but the signs that you're seeing are leading you in a direction that is taking you through this ascension process, or up the mountain of ascension, if you will. It's like the mountain sitting behind him there in the card. And it's creating spiritual growth for you, especially in transcendence of karma, because the number 17 here, 1 and 7 makes 8, and 8 to me always reminds me of karma. It's as above, so below, as within, so without, as you've done, so you've created. So there's something about karma here and transcendence of it. So again, this is part of the ascension process where you're moving up the sort of ladder in terms of your spiritual service, your healing, your ability to spiritually expand your mind, because we've got Mercury and the moon here with Go To Cola. So it's whoa. Did you guys see that? This thing just like freaking shot off. Yeah, it's like you're about to like speed forward, group number 2, in terms of your ascension process. I did just get the message that this is happening at a human level too, like a collective level. But there's something about your specific personal transcendence of karma that is helping that along. It's like you're playing some kind of a pivotal role in the collective ascension, i.e., the spiritual awakening of humanity. This is pretty big stuff we're talking about here. Okay. Yeah, they do want me to keep going with this deck. Aquarius, originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. I saw 333 on the recording time when I was holding that up to the camera. So yeah, you've got the Ascended Masters walking with you, group number 2. And what you're doing in terms of spiritual service is something that is going to advance the thinking of humanity. It's like you either embodying this level of consciousness within yourself, or maybe it is some kind of literal service that you're doing for other people. But yeah, pay attention to feathers, animals, feelings, psychic premonitions. feel like a creative pursuit is going to be important here. I'm not sure what that's about though yet. So let's keep going. Hold on, it was this card and I kind of covered it up. Jupiter, grow and expand. That's what I mean. You're growing and expanding exponentially, like extremely quickly. Like they're showing me a slingshot. Yeah, slingshot. You're getting slingshotted. You're getting like thrown forward so quickly. Fixed, stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability. Okay. And that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. So you've got Aquarius twice here. You've got Pisces. You've got those other signs as well. Jupiter rules Pisces. And then you've got Mercury and the Moon. Okay. I want to go into the Egyptian Star Tarot for you, group number 2. Being of service. I feel like this came up in group 1, but I can't remember because that was a couple of hours ago that I did that reading. I took a break after that because I needed to eat something, and I don't remember what their reading was about, but I'm getting kind of like deja vu. I'm not literally getting deja vu, because that's a timeline convergence, but I'm getting the familiar feeling that I've like done this before and talked about this before. I feel like they had these 2 cards, this spiritual, the being of service card and the Aquarius card. So you guys might be doing something like that as well. I do feel like it's some kind of creative pursuit. I keep getting that. I don't see it in the cards, but I'm feeling it. And I'm just getting that sense. So it's channeling out of me. What is this? What is this spiritual service? Love and romance. Okay. Yeah, I do want to get this one too. Authority and power. And this one, they said. Accomplishment. Huh. Okay. Let's get another one of these. Okay, 2. I don't know if we even have room for 2 more. We're gonna make it fit. Elder wisdom. Yeah, this did come up in group 1, but your guys is very different. Theirs was okay. Now this is jogging my memory. Thank you, Spirit. They're jogging my memory. Their reading was about imagination and magic and healing. Yours is different, group 2. But I do see some similarities, especially in the imagination area, like the creative pursuits and how you use your creative skills in a spiritual way to be able to promote love, maybe even helping people to heal their relationships to themselves, to other people, romantic or platonic, and helping people to, I feel like life coaching, but it's much different than that. Okay, let me just, purity. Okay, this card will not stop haunting the readings ever since I received this deck in the mail from the generous donor who sent this one and a couple of other decks in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It keeps coming out, and I don't know. I think it's a collective theme. I mean, these are general readings, and so yeah, collective themes do tend to present like that, and I feel like this is kind of the thing that we're seeing here for you, group number 2. And it's this purity of the creative mind that you are going to be able to grow something really stable through your persistence. I feel like this has relation to achievement of goals, accomplishment of goals. That's what I'm getting from authority and power. It's like you're able to help people achieve their goals in a creative way. You're helping them to express themselves, or you're helping them to balance out themselves or their relationships with other people. The 12th house is about rehabilitation as well. So it could be like you're helping to get people back into their power, rehabilitating them from disempowered states where they were stuck in codependent relationships or addictions or something like that. But I keep getting this creative energy, so I don't really know how that fits, because what I'm seeing is like coaching or like something like that, like a very sort of direct support network. So how does creativity play into that, Spirit? Can you give me more information, please? Okay, they said get the True Heart Tarot. More information on this creativity, please, for group 2. 3 of Wands reversed. Well, 3 of Wands can be about oh yeah, and okay, so 3 of Wands can be about sending things out. It's like merchant type energy where you're bartering, you're trading, you're sending out information, maybe disseminating information, sharing information. Aquarius can be technology too, so you could be sharing information through technology about power dynamics to help people overcome painful relationships, and this is your way of being of service because you help people to raise their consciousness, to grow and expand and become more stable in their life, which is what allows them to direct their energy more effectively and achieve their goals. Because you have this wisdom and you're able to help people purify themselves through this spiritual transcendence. Okay, now it's all fitting together, but you do it in a very creative way. I feel this one too. Temperance. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I do. I do feel like I'm getting an interesting feeling from you, group number 2. It feels like a combination of spirituality, deep diving into the psychology of humanity. So it's like the science-based brain theories, but then I'm also getting this creativity and understanding the psychology of people helps you to apply this creativity in a progressive way. It's really interesting what I'm seeing here, but I don't really know how to describe it. Now, the other thing that I want to mention here, group number 2, is that this sign that you've been waiting for is giving you the green light. It is giving you the go-ahead, and it's pointing you in the direction of how you're going to either expand what you're doing now or get to the end goal. I feel like you've already started this. This isn't something that you've never done before. I think this is something you're actively doing now, or you've actively done in the past to a fairly high extent. Because you're an elder at this, you're very wise in this field, whatever it happens to be. You are not a beginner. And so what I'm seeing here is the green light to continue to expand past the previous sort of glass ceiling that you've been sitting at. I feel like you are going to really level up in a way that you are a little bit unfamiliar with, and so it's kind of like getting to this next level might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but you really do have a lot to give. The bottom of the deck has been kind of sitting here trying to get my attention, and I've just been talking about other things, but the 6 of discs, the 6 of pentacles, and this energy of giving, and because she's kind of like hiding, she's not hiding, but she's behind this sort of window, or she's in this frame. I do feel like because we had Aquarius and the 12th house here, I feel like this could be at a distance and through technology. So I feel like you might be a content creator or helping content creators, or sharing information online about these things. Something like that. Yeah, I feel like you are a very ambitious person, group 2. That's what I feel. I feel like you're a very ambitious person, and that is propelled by your spirituality. That is not a human ego thing. We can be ambitious from the ego for sure, but for you, the ambition is driven by purpose, spiritual purpose, a deep spiritual purpose, and this is what your soul came here to do. So yes, you are meant to get to the next level. If you've been feeling like, oh, I don't know how to kind of level up into the next stage of my growth, Spirit is giving you the sign that the time is now, because they keep giving me that reference of the green light. So if you've been kind of feeling like things have been blocked off or stopped for you, or you haven't known which direction to go, you're getting the green light now and you're leveling up, or you're about to. They keep bringing me back to the word persistence here in the fixed sign card. So something about being persistent is going to be important here, maybe doing something consistently. Jupiter, you've got Jupiter here twice. So lots of expansion, very high-minded. Jupiter also reminds me of Sagittarius, and even though we don't have that in any of the cards specifically, it does feel like there's this energy of exploration into these unbound territories. It's like you're expanding outside of the construct that you've previously lived within. And this is most definitely part of your service. Definitely. I do get the sense, group number 2, that you're going to be ushered into this next phase of this service, of this purpose, in a very direct way. Like the universe is kind of going to come and pick you up on your parapet, is that what those are called? Anyway, and just like carry you off. It's almost like it feels a little bit out of your control in a sense, which is actually kind of interesting, because I think you've been trying to control this in some way, but it's like the universe is just kind of coming in and taking over. Yeah, it's like God's hand is coming in, opening the cage, taking the bird out, and throwing you into the air. So this may feel like it's a little bit out of your hands, but it's not like a tower moment or, where things are really feeling like the rug's been ripped out from underneath you. No, it's the opposite. It's like instead of the rug being ripped out from underneath you, the rug is being picked up and you're being tossed into the air. Did you guys ever do that? Where you get like 4 people or even 2 people who are really strong holding on to either end of the blanket, and then you lie in the middle and they flip you up in the air like that. I loved that as a kid. And it's something like that where the universe is just like, okay, time to go up, and you're just like shooting through the roof all of a sudden. And I think that part of this is going to be very, very balanced and very healing for you. There's going to be a little bit of a need to moderate, because there may be this extreme expansion to such a degree that it kind of it like shocks you a little bit, and you need to temper that with being able to consciously pull back and retreat and go inward, because I think that you're going to be so busy externally that it's going to require a lot of you. It's like you're really kind of just being like thrown into the fray, and things are really launching, or you're accomplishing a lot in a really short period of time, and Spirit is kind of advising you in this case that because things are going to move forward so quickly, they want you to make sure that you are balancing that out with your needs for introspection and alone time and thinking time. So meditation can be helpful, or just contemplation. It doesn't have to be meditation if that feels uncomfortable or stressful, but just contemplating and having time to yourself, that's really important here, because that's going to help you to stay aligned as you go through this rapid growth, so that you don't lose yourself in the speed of your ascension and the speed of your massive growth. Yeah, okay. I do want to get some coffee cup oracles for you, group number 2. Cunning and stealth, the wolf. I think that's the persistence. I'm feeling like the wolf here is kind of like a signifier of your persistence. You've hunted, you've tracked, you've pursued this, you've kind of used all your resources to be able to get to this point, and you've been very successful and you have accomplished this. And then it was kind of like you maybe hit a plateau or something, or you felt like you were caged in, or you hit this glass ceiling. And that was just because it was a red light moment, and Spirit is letting you know that actually you're getting the green light like right now, and you're going to expand really super quickly. Rabbit, fertility, or sorry, pregnancy and fears. It says pregnancy and fears, but I heard fertility, so I said fertility. But that's the same thing. So yes, you're very fertile right now. Group number 2. Jupiter expands and grows too, so it's like it could be quite literally getting pregnant and like your body growing, your belly growing if you're a woman. If you don't want to get pregnant, guard against that. If you want to get pregnant, this may be a good time for that. But again, it's like it's going to happen so quickly that you might need to sort of balance or temper that with some other things that are going to help keep you grounded. Okay, they said one of these cards. It was stuck to the bottom of the table over there, and then I picked it up to look at it, and they said that just take that one. I said okay. So, in Aries, Aries, your willpower, what you think you know about, do it your own way. Energies to meet the challenge of your desires regarding, resulting from the honesty and strength of. So these are actually meant to be read sort of in sequence. That's why they're kind of like the middles of a sentence, but we get the idea, and that's why I wanted to use these this way. In this reading, it feels like I feel like you're overcoming a pretty massive challenge that you've had. You're climbing that mountain, you're getting over the peak of it, you're getting past the plateau point. You know what they're showing me in my mind is actually, you know, in a rock climbing wall, or like even out on actual mountains, where the rock face kind of goes up like this, but then it juts out like that, and so you kind of almost have to go inverted, where you're like upside down and defying gravity to climb up and over. So it wasn't even a plateau that was flat and level like this. It was like a plateau that was the other direction, which made it even harder. But you're accomplishing this, you're overcoming these challenges, and through your service work and facing these fears and challenges and overcoming them and finding productive, progressive solutions, I feel like you're a really good problem solver, group 2, and Spirit has been guiding you through this process. Yeah, Spirit is your right-hand man, group number 2, so you're very, very intuitive, probably very psychic as well, or you're just really in tune, and or all of the above. But yeah, I see Aries here really kind of like driving you into a new territory, maybe that you haven't explored before. Because Jupiter, like I said, is about travel and expansion and new ideas. And the 12th house is things at a distance and hidden things as well. So I feel like you're kind of expanding into hidden territory that you didn't know was available to you. But you are on this like sort of conquest into the unknown, and Spirit is picking you up on that parapet and saying, yeah, here we go. Ready or not, here we go. So you're following your desires, but it's coming from a lot of momentum at soul level, and Spirit is ushering you in that direction. It is your willpower, definitely, sort of, that has initiated this before, but now it's like Spirit is kind of taking you to the next level. And I think you're going to be learning some stuff here, group 2. You're going to be learning some stuff that you didn't know, because I think there's a lot that you do know. I think you're very wise, but we never know everything. And sometimes we don't know what we don't know. So I see that you are expanding into territory that was previously uncharted for you. And so it's like you really conquered all of this land in this one area. And then you're going off on this ship, like Spirit's kind of just like launching you off on this ship. And you arrive at this new world and you're like, wait a second, I've never experienced anything quite like this before. But you do have the skills of the previous world that you were able to master. So you do take those with you, and you will be successful and accomplished in this new world because you can apply what you learned before and learn through a bit of trial and error and adjustment how this new world operates and how to function in it. So you might be changing a business structure, you might be changing your way of being of service and raising yourself to a new level that you've never been to before, which again is going to require that there's some learning. There's a little bit of adaptation. There's a learning curve here that I'm seeing. But it's going to grow so fast and expand so quickly that you're really going to see the positive outcomes of this. That's what I'm getting. You're really going to see the positive outcomes of this, and it's through your willpower, your direction, your persistence that has really gotten you to this level and will continue to expand you into the next level and the next level and the next level, because you are meant to be in a position of authority and power. You have a lot of wisdom. You do have a lot of knowledge. I think you're a great leader, group number 2, and you do very well at helping people to accomplish things, accomplish their goals, expand their minds, and maybe even teaching people to be of service to others as well. So it's like there's this ripple effect that I see you doing here. Yeah, you're very dedicated to what you do, whatever it is, group number 2. I feel that big time. Very dedicated, and that's why Spirit is like promoting you in a sense. It's like it's like Spirit is promoting you to this next level of your job. And even though there was this initial challenge and hurdle you had to overcome, now that you're in that new position, or you're about to be, it might feel a little unfamiliar because it's uncharted territory. You've never done this specific job before, but you're gonna catch on really quick because you're a fast learner and you're pretty freaking experienced in these other areas. So you can take that knowledge with you. It doesn't just evaporate. Yeah. So definitely you're on a new conquest, group number 2. That is so cool. So it's go time. Okay. That's the message. That's the sign. That's what you were waiting for, or that's the message you maybe needed to hear. It's go time. Part of this is just going to be Spirit acting. Follow the signs though. I think that's your part of it. Like, it's a bit of a two-way street. It's a tandem. It takes 2 to tango. So it's you following the signs and exerting your willpower and being persistent, not giving up, and continuing to problem solve and find solutions, learning as you go. And then Spirit is really here kind of giving you the breadcrumbs you need to get to the next step, and the next one, and the next one. All right. So that is what I see for you, group number 2. Really cool reading. I hope that this helped to clarify the sign, or to give you the message that you needed in regard to what you were asking about or looking for, or maybe you didn't know what you were looking for, but this maybe gave you some clarity into it. I hope. That's my highest goal. My highest intention is to support you guys in your spiritual growth and to learn to speak the language of Spirit, because it can really help you to be that version of you that you came here to be at soul level. So I'm sending you so much love and so much gratitude. Thank you guys for being here, for supporting the channel and my work in service to you. Let me know if you guys need anything from me. I have services and downloadable e-content available on my website, which is linked below. If you're interested in supporting the channel and getting more content, we do have memberships available. That gives you ad-free access to weekly pick-a-card readings, additional content, and monthly live streams where members can ask me personal questions. So if you guys are interested in any of that, hit the join button or explore in the description box to your leisure. I will leave it at that. Thank you so much, guys. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out what the sign is for you, what this means. And you guys chose the Angel's Trumpet, Death. So this is a really interesting card, and the first thing I'm noticing is the bat hanging here in the card, and it feels like there's something that has been stuck and has felt like it was dying. I'm getting Dark Night of the Soul, and the bat is reminding me of the Hanged Man in the tarot, and the Hanged Man is like a period of being stuck or potential even sacrifice to momentarily see things in a different perspective. So even though it can feel very frustrating to be kind of hung upside down and not moving forward, and it can lead to a lot of angst, that's kind of what I'm picking up on, is like angst and anxiety, and maybe even like full-blown fear. But ultimately what it's doing is giving you a different or altered perspective to help to free you from the previous mindset or the previous restrictions that you were living within. The paradigm is shifting, is what I just heard. The paradigm is shifting. So death is something that it's not finite, or it's not, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not finite. It's not definite in the sense that It is the end. It is a transition phase. So it's kind of like you're going through an ego death, group number 3, and the signs have been kind of they're showing me that Spirit's been trying to communicate with you, but sometimes when we're in a hanged man phase, or we're going through a dark night of the soul, or we're really kind of struggling mentally with that process of ego death, it can be very, very difficult to hear Spirit's communication. So that's kind of, I think, why you've been drawn to the reading today, and why this one resonated with you, is because the angels, specifically the angels, want to talk to you. They want to give you information. They want to help give you tools that will assist you through this process and get you to the other side. But the other side of this dark night of the soul, I should say. I should clarify that. It's not like getting to the other side in terms of dying and being reborn physically. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphorical death that you're going through. You have ashwagandha, purpose. This is, it's part of your purpose. And I feel like you are moving through the chakra system, making the unconscious conscious, and then as a result, it's part of your destiny. Because the north node, it's the moon and the north node here in the purpose card. So it does feel like this is part of your destiny. It's part of your psychological rebirth is what I just heard. But I was going to say spiritual growth. Yeah, it is. Either way, same thing. It's part of your spiritual growth. And it's kind of like a judgment moment with the angel's trumpet there. Like judgment in the tarot signifies this death and rebirth, where we've gone as far as we can, and we have to reconcile with the things of the past that are no longer serving us. And we have to kind of come to accept those things so that we can move into the next stage, which is, in this case, this spiritual growth, or this purpose or destiny in regard to your psychology and the way that you think or feel about things. Okay, we'll get those two. Oh, they said there's 4. Okay. So those 4. We have Virgo, methods for the healing power of, the analyzing of, resulting from perfectionism of, the serving of others, the details of, and do what you must do. So these are actually meant to be read as a sentence. So these are like one middle part of the sentence, but I'm just using them in this reading as more of like significators or indicators of energy. So Virgo is about healing. It's about service to others. It's about the details. It's very routine oriented. It likes to plan ahead. It's very practical. It's very grounded too. And Virgo can be a very sort of earth-based energy, not just even physically because it's an earth sign, but I mean like very, very third dimensionally minded. And that's kind of what I'm seeing happening here, is you're going through an ego death of the third dimension is all there is, and then into, there's a whole another layer of reality. There's a whole another level of myself. There's a purpose that I have. I'm a soul. I'm not just a human. All of these things are kind of what I'm seeing here. And this may not be the first time you've been through this. There's many layers to ego death and rebirth. It's not just like one thing, but the major one at the very beginning of spiritual awakening is probably the most uncomfortable. You have the moon. So the north node and the moon, and then you have the moon card. So it says defend, accept, let your feelings tell you how. The nurturing of feelings caused by and reactions. So this is very much an emotional rebirth that you're going through, an emotional death and rebirth. And it probably feels pretty uncomfortable, group number 3. Especially if you're someone who's more comfortable being oriented towards the physical realm and the things that you can see and touch and feel and understand. Emotions might feel overwhelming. Spiritual concepts might feel overwhelming. Learning to work with things. They keep showing me the crystal and the sage here in the little box. Learning to work with esoteric or metaphysical tools might feel strange. I've got my selenite and sage here. These are both for cleansing energy. That might be something that can benefit you right now. Clear quartz can help to amplify and expand. Selenite can help to clear and release and purify. Sage and other things like that, even sprays and stuff. Like I've got the clear vibration energy spray. I've got lots of different crystals that I have here, chakra crystals. So there's something about you going through this process that is going to necessitate using some resources or using some tools to help you get through this. I do feel like this actually could even become part of your purpose in regard to how you serve others. Maybe you're going to help other people to do this, or maybe that's what I'm picking up on. If you are not in this beginning stage of going through this dark night of the soul, then this could be actually that you are transitioning into the next stage of your spiritual service, which is essentially helping other people who are going through that. And that could be your way of serving and giving back, helping people, nurturing them, walking them through what they're feeling, giving them those spiritual tools to help kind of guide them along the path. You may be one of those earth angels whose spiritual service is to help people awaken, especially in the beginning stages. Because it's kind of hard for me to tell the difference between these two energies. They feel either like you're the one going through it or you're the one helping people. And I feel like either way, it's the same energy. It's just, is it coming from you or is it coming from what you're doing? You have Pluto, resurrect, get to the heart of, do or die, you must. The need for control of, an obsession with, and a power struggle. Well, the resurrection energy right there is very much connected to the judgment card, which I was feeling. You know, we haven't even pulled tarot cards, but these are the themes that I'm seeing coming up, and these are more like archetypal themes. So Pluto is regarding resurrection, and it is power struggles, and the ego can hold on. It does not like to change. The ego does not want to let go of what it finds familiar or comfortable or gives it a sense of security or personal power. It does not want to feel subservient to the higher self or the higher consciousness. It does not want to experience any form of death, metaphorical or literal. And that is kind of one of these power struggles that we can experience. And the resistance we feel going through a dark night of the soul is the resistance of the ego. But I'll give you a secret. I'll give you a tool here, and maybe it'll help you through this, or it'll help the people that you're helping. Either way, I'm going to share it with you because this is a really good sort of place to start. It's really crucial to understand that the ego needs to feel secure. Obviously, we know that the ego needs to feel secure, but how do we do that through this kind of an intense spiritual resurrection and death process? Well, essentially, we as the individual, as the soul, need to hold space for the part of us that is the identity or the ego. And so essentially kind of almost like separating those two parts of the self and identifying the ego and then identifying this other version of you, which is the observer, which is maybe even closer to the soul or the higher self, and being able to have those two come together and this part of you support the ego through this process of transition so that they don't feel like they're completely getting left behind or left in the dark or being kicked out into the cold. It's like, no, the ego doesn't have to die. It's just transforming, because that's what death is. It's transformation. The ego never dies. The soul never dies. Matter cannot be destroyed. It can only change form. And even though the ego isn't technically matter in the material Virgoan sense, it is matter in the sense that it is consciousness. And consciousness does have some aspect of physicality, especially since it is able to create. And we have Mars, energize, confront, force yourself to, the drive for, the confronting of, and action. Yeah, so I feel like you're confronting the ego. The ego is confronting you with some resistance. There's some emotional stuff that you are needing to confront, and it's causing a lot of sort of turmoil internally. You may be feeling really out of control, or you may be clinging to things that give you a sense of control and kind of diving down the other opposite end of it, where you're trying to create order from the chaos by clinging to things that give you some semblance of maybe even a false sense of control. But I feel like group number 3, the reason that you were drawn to this reading is because, well, yeah, you've got the gate here. You're going through a transition point right now, and part of this process does require you to surrender. So if you can create safety for the ego, you can help the ego to surrender. And if you can help the ego to surrender and trust, then you can move through this phase a little bit less painfully. Like there will be less resistance, and it'll be easier to be able to make this transition and shift this power dynamic, go through this death process in a way that feels energizing rather than exhausting. Okay, let's actually get some tarot cards here for you, group number 3. We get some additional information on what group number 3 needs to hear right now in regard to this sign. Why do you feel this card? Prince of Swords. Oops, like new lines of thinking, action, swiftness, information being delivered. I'm seeing information being delivered. I'm getting the angels trying to speak to you a lot. They try to communicate to you a lot, but if you are in this state of not misalignment, that's not the right term. It's more like dis-ease, but not disease, like dis-ease. You're uneasy. If you're uneasy, it's really hard for spirit to communicate to you and for you to hear it, and even if you do hear it, to interpret it accurately, because there's kind of like it's like, okay, let me explain it this way. It's like driving on a road and you're listening to the radio, and then all of a sudden you drive into this territory that's maybe out of radio signal, and the radio station you were listening to starts to get all garbled, and you start picking up on the frequency of a different radio station, and now there's like 2 songs playing at once, or you're just getting static, and it sounds a little bit odd, and it's almost like grinding, and you're like, ugh, and you just turn it off. So Spirit has been trying to communicate to you. The angels and your spirit guides have been trying to direct you through this process of alchemizing the ego and going through this transformation. But the problem has been that the emotions and the reactions and I'm feeling like this aggression energy within you, like this tug of war between the emotions and the desire for control, or the conscious mind versus the unconscious mind, and it feels like do or die. It feels like, you're fighting for your life. It feels like your ego is in full survival mode right now, and it is fighting tooth and nail to survive, and it is really painful, and that's really hard to hear through, right? It's like you've gone into a dead zone where the radio is not coming through, and if it is, it's really, really garbled, and you're not going to be able to understand it. So you kind of have to get to the next stage, which is like going through this gate into the territory where you can open back up again and feel a little bit more grounded and safe and emotionally regulated and back into your personal power. But again, the way to do that is through accepting what is happening. It is surrender. Ironically, surrender gives you control, because all spiritual truths, well, not all of them, but a lot of them tend to be paradoxical in nature, meaning that it seems counterintuitive, but it's actually helpful, because we are infinite beings. And so what seems like it's going in the opposite direction actually leads back on itself, because infinity is a loop. So 4 of Swords, Spirit is recommending that you clear your mind. I heard that so loud in my head. Clear your mind. You need to get grounded. You need to clear your emotions and clear your mind. Maybe doing some meditation or contemplation, practicing mindfulness. If you don't feel comfortable doing solo meditations, meditate with other people. Maybe that will give the ego a little bit more of a foundation or an anchor point, so that it doesn't feel quite so adrift, because that's kind of what I'm getting, is the ego is really afraid that it's going to drown in an endless sea of nothing. And it's like, no, no, no. The sea is full of lots of everything, and you are the sea. So like, you can't drown in yourself. It's fine. You'll be fine. You'll come out of this, and you're gonna actually help other people how to do this, because I do feel like you are going through this now, group 3, and part of this purpose is, again, for your own spiritual awakening, but I think it's also going to be part of your service in terms of how you can help other people who are going through this in the future. Justice. It's bringing balance, or at least it's trying to, but it might feel like it's very imbalanced. Yeah, it feels like it's imbalanced, but it's not. And we have all, swords and Libra as an air signs. We've got the sword here as well, so lots of air, because swords are air. So get clarity of mind. I really just keep seeing that clarity of mind. And look, more swords, Queen of Swords. Okay, so master your mind. That's what the Queen of Swords is. And she's the queen, not the King of Swords. And the Queen of Swords, oh, you also have the Queen of Cups on the bottom too. Wow, 2 queens. So it's very much about being in your feminine energy and learning to receive and surrender, being able to tune in and rebalance and harmonize these frequencies, ground yourself, find an anchor point, but then allow yourself to transition and flow, because that's what feminine energy does. It surrenders. It feels safe to open up, it relaxes, and then it's able to flow very naturally. And as you do that, you're going to see that the support you felt like you lacked is going to come in. And where you felt like you were being bottlenecked or squeezed or choked, it's actually going to open up and expand, and you're going to be able to breathe again. So if it felt like you were drowning, you're going to be able to breathe. If it felt like you were hanging upside down, it's like the world is going to turn right side up and you'll be able to walk free. So group number 3, this is not an easy process, okay? And every spiritual seeker has been through it, so you're not alone. And if this is not your first rodeo, like not your first merry-go-round, welcome back to another layer of the spiritual awakening. But wait, there's more. It's just like layers and layers of ego deaths, and oh yes, confronting the ego and facing our triggers and our wounds and our fears and all of these things. And it feels do or die, and it feels like all or nothing, but it's not. I promise you that it's not. It's an illusion, and you're transcending that illusion. That's why this is happening. It is part of your purpose. And like I said, you're going to understand the details of this to such a degree that I think you're going to be almost like not a gatekeeper, because that word has gained a lot of negative connotation of like keeping knowledge from people, but I mean gatekeeper in the sense that you actually show people where the gate is. You're like, hey, you're stuck in the 3D matrix. Hey, come over here, let me show you the way, and I will help you transition through the gate comfortably so that you don't have to go through it in a very uncomfortable way like I did. I feel like that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from you, group 3. Again, if you're already doing this, then this will just be confirmation. If you're not doing this and you're still in the ego death phase, again, confirmation, but also the guidance and perspective on where this is actually leading. And it is karmic, because the scales of justice at a metaphysical level refers to the law of karma, which is cause and effect. But it also refers to higher spiritual laws and contracts. And this feels, because it's North Node and it's destined in this way, it is part of your soul contract to move through this layer multiple times, not just once, but to master your mind, to master your emotions, and to master your impulses and your inner power dynamic. And that does not mean to control them. Mastership is not control. Mastership is surrender and understanding and embodiment. So it's the wisdom that comes from this experience that is going to help you to master this. And you will really see that what you thought was a bottomless black hole is actually a gateway into an entirely new reality. Okay, so that is what I see for you, group number 3. I hope that this helped and gave you a little bit of context as to the sign that you've been asking for and what Spirit wants to share with you in terms of that sign. My highest intention for these readings is to support you in your spiritual growth and expansion. So if I can contribute to that in any small way, I hope that I can. And if this reading helped, then that's fantastic. If not, I'm wishing you all the best for this journey. If you do resonate with me, though, and you want to work with me one-on-one, and I can help you do this too, then check out my services, which are linked in, or through the website, which is linked in the description box below the video. All right, so I'm sending you lots of love and protection and blessings and high frequency energy to help you transition through this stage with utmost ease and grace, and to find your inner center and anchor point, master your mind, overcome these challenges, and step into your destiny with ease. So much love and blessings to you guys. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.